Mr. Hedrick, I think it's your time for you.
Hi, my name is Linda Hedrick. I know a lot of faces here. I became the interim library director as of August 1st, and that's when Walt Johnson stepped down to a part-time position. So that old saying, beware of Greeks who bring gifts. This is a sample package of things that we give to the children. It also has the library information in it, and my email should you need that. Thank you for inviting me this evening. Especially thank you for being interested in what I have to say. My personal motto is reading changes lives. And I have one question that I want you to think about while I'm here. How can we, the Pendleton County Public Library, assist your students, teachers, and other stakeholders? I was asked about the size of our collection. Currently, our library collection is about 32,000 items. This includes books on CDs, DVDs, and we also have at least 100 DVDs that were donated that we don't have processed through our system yet. The library interacts with Pendleton County students and teachers in many ways. The summer reading program, the one from 2025, was Color Our World. It had an average attendance of 65 students per the 6-week program. We were so excited to have the Energy Express students with us, and we appreciate them being allowed to participate. It's interesting, many of the libraries in West Virginia saw the Energy Express program as competition and eliminated their programs for that summer. We really appreciate the cooperation there. Library visits. Currently, the preschool classes attend every Thursday for story time. Story time with Miss Wendy is a very popular thing. And that's usually 22 to 23 students. The third grade classes alternate every Friday. One of the things that I really appreciate about the third grade teachers, they help facilitate the children getting their library cards. So that is very exciting. We have 14 to 15 students. The fourth graders alternate every Thursday. We have 18 to 19 students. We are also going to be participating in the Main Street trick-or-treating, so we're told to expect 50 to 60 students. Now, I understand in the past there was also something with the kindergarten, but I haven't had time to check into that, but I will be checking into that. We are currently revising our children's section. When I walked into the library with the summer reading program, I got a very different impression, kind of the curb appeal and the feel of the library, and I thought that it felt very cold. So we've been working a lot on trying to make it more friendly, a better place, a happier place, and it seems to be working. So hopefully by the end of the month that we will have our children's section revised and make it even more friendly. Now I'm practicing what I call community-centered collection development versus library-directed development. Now, since we're all in the school system, or we're in the school system, we know about person-centered planning, okay? I'm taking this to a larger level in that there are different ways to build collections. One is librarian-directed, and let me give you the best example with the children's books. There are 3 or 4 major companies that publish children's books, and they love to get you on the phone. And they say, okay, we'll send you a box. So they each send you a box, maybe of 100 books. And they say, okay, keep the ones you want, pay for those, and send the rest back. Well, to me, that makes no sense at all. I do not have my fingers on the pulse of kids' literature these days. So what I've done is started asking the teachers and Tanya, what do you kids like? help me order, help me put together collections. And that's really working well, I think. We have currently 4 employees. I am there, of course, and then Wendy, and then Walt will be there until the end of November, and Destiny Keplinger. And each one of us has kind of taken a specialty area. Wendy, everybody knows Wendy. Wendy knows everybody, and she's wonderful. Her section is Christian fiction. If you go into the library and ask what women like, it will always be Christian fiction. So she keeps us in the pulse of that, knowing what currently is available. I'll tell you, our ladies will walk in and they'll say, order this book for me. It just came out yesterday. I have one that's coming out, ordered it today, and it's coming out April 26th. April 26th, I don't know how these people know it. I have to tell you a story, and this story really warms my heart. Miss Kimball's class was the first class to come into the library. And the boys were lining up to get their books, and this boy put a penny on the counter. I said, oh, what's that? He said, that's for being the best library ever. So yes, that really touched my heart. There is room for growth. As I said, I want to check in to see what we can do with the kindergartners. I'd also like to, if possible, assist with the high school's teacher training program. I think that we might be able to help there. And also working with students completing their community service hours. We always need help. We are very short-staffed. We're starting small with some children's programming. This Saturday we're going to be doing pumpkin decorating. The biggest problem that I see, and I know it's not only on my mind, but everyone's mind, is continued funding. We are fine for this fiscal year. Our budget has been guaranteed, our money has been guaranteed. Now, I haven't been following the Department of Education very much, but I anticipate next year that the pie is going to get smaller, which means each of us is going to get a smaller piece of pie. And what I would like to see in order to maybe mitigate some of those circumstances is the people who are working with children to work together. You've got the library. Barb Hamilton does tremendous work at Main Street Church. And then Edna's group is also working with children. Maybe we could co-sponsor things, pool our money and co-sponsor things. That's where I see us going. When I told the board that I was invited to speak here, and the board president said, keep it sweet and short. So hopefully that was short and sweet enough.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you for what you do. You guys do a great job.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
You're welcome to stay. JD always says you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. I don't think we've ever had a taker, have we?
Rarely.
Grab a cream puff. They're pretty good.
Okay, there's no public comment, I don't believe.
All right, so for student recognition, we have the October James Huffman Responsible Student of the Month. Sophomore Dylan I is the October James Huffman Responsible Student of the Month. He is the son of Mike and Aaron I of Brandywine. Dylan is a member of the Pep Club and enjoys playing the piano, hunting, and drawing and writing stories. He is a member of the golf team where he had the lowest scoring average in 2024. In 2025, he was selected for All PVC team, finished 3rd overall, and was a member of the state qualifying team. Dylan is on the All-A honor roll and won 2nd place in 2024 West Virginia State Science Fair. Dylan would like to continue playing golf in college while he pursues a career in the medical field. And the October Academic Student of the Month is Junior Ty Hevener of Franklin, who he is the son of Travis and Teresa Hevener. He is a member of National Honor Society and football and basketball teams. He received All PVC First Team Defensive Lineman in 2024. Ty is the Vice President of the FFA, where he was a 2023 Regional Creed winner, 2024 State Zero Turn State Tractor Driving Winner and the 2025 Regional Tractor Driving Winner. He is the treasurer of the Upper Tract Producers 4-H Club. Ty attends the Mount Zion United Methodist Church and participates in Christ Central Church Adopt a Highway program. He shows livestock at county and state levels, earning Grand Champion Lamb at the Tri-County Fair in 2024 and 2025. Ty plans to attend college and pursue an engineering degree in the agricultural field.
Thank you. All right, next thing is the minutes of the October 7th, 2025 board meeting. We've all had a chance to look at them. Is there any corrections, additions, or deletions to those minutes? If not, a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion passed. Personnel, Christie.
Yes. We do not have any resignations or retirements. We have a permission to post an extracurricular occupational therapy facilitator, a maximum of 20 hours per week.
25.
25 hours per week.
And I recommend that we give permission to post this position.
Superintendent recommends that we post this position. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion passed.
Under employment of personnel, we have one, Nancy Miller, as a substitute secretary.
And I recommend that the substitute, Nancy Miller, substitute secretary, be approved.
Superintendent recommends that we approve the hiring of substitute personnel. I have a motion.
So moved. Go ahead.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried.
We have none for approval of contracts, and we don't have any for approval of non-paid coaches. So that brings us to approval of volunteers and chaperones. At Franklin Elementary, we have David Hutchinson, Mandy Hutchinson, and Danny Howe. For Franklin Elementary chaperones, we have Danny Howe. North Fork Elementary volunteers, we have Cynthia Wilkins. North Fork Elementary chaperones, Isaac Sponagle. Pendleton County Middle High School volunteers, Carrie Ruddle and J.D. Hebner. Pendleton County Middle School High School chaperones, Carrie Ruddle and J.D. Hebner. And Pendleton County Middle High School drivers, Carrie Ruddle.
And Franklin Elementary has Melanie Stump as a volunteer and chaperones.
Melanie Stump. She was on your,
She's on the
Background.
one that's
Okay.
anxious to the docs.
okay.
We added her Monday afternoon.
Who were they?
Melanie Stump,
Okay, thanks.
she's on the board docs.
I recommend that the volunteers and chaperones be approved as presented.
Superintendent recommends that we approve the volunteers and chaperones on the list. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried.
Leave of absence, we have none.
That finishes you up. Thank you, Christie.
Mhm.
All right, we're down to finance. Mr. Mowry.
All right, under 7A, we have budget revisions for 7A. So I'm going to pull those up. Starting with budget supplements, which increase or reduce the budget, in most cases increase the budget. The first item, number 101, we call the Fund 11 General Current Expense Carryover. So when we finished the fiscal year, we did a report on that a few meetings ago at just over $1.8 million. And we had budgeted about $1.55 million in the FY26 budget. So we're putting the additional carryover of $217, $39 goes to non-spendable, like prepayments for Board of Risk and Workers' Comp. We're putting the additional carryover of over $200,000 into the budget. And so that's $217 for '28. Some of that just goes into general repair and maintenance. It'll be in salaries. Some of that will be moved around later if it does need to be moved around. $60,000 is going into the the paving that we had in a lump sum. This is a special line item though for the paving. So we have 217,428 additional supplementing to our general current expense fund 11 budget. That's number 101. Number 102, and these are smaller amounts. When we do go in the spring and do the budget, we are able to estimate how much Title I, Title II, and Title IV funding we will get, but it's not exact. So Title IV, for example, a smaller grant, we're increasing by $1,600.24. So the State Department gives us estimates, then we get final allocations late spring, early summer. So $1,624 for number 102 increase. Number 3 is actually a decrease in Title II, and that's some staff development that Travis oversees. Travis oversees the title programs, the decrease of $832.96 in number 103. Title I is actually increasing $2,000. That's our largest title program, over $200,000. $2,088.99 for Title I. So of those 101 to 104s, we had increases of $221, $117.23. A decrease of $832.96, and so a total net increase to the budget of $220,284.27. When we print it from the system, it adds everything up, whether it's an increase or decrease, and doesn't differentiate. So we're just delineating. The increase was $221, $117, decrease $832 for a net of $220, $284.27. So that's 101, 104. Budget supplements. Continuing on, we have some budget transfers. When the money is put in the spring, it's put into a lump sum reserve line item. So Title I was estimated into a lump sum reserve, and then we just did a small supplement to it. But now we're taking it out of reserve into the actual items since the Title I budget's now been approved in Charleston. Brandywine, it's in a couple different grants. We start off with $67,116.99, and that'll be increased as we see in a couple other grants. And that includes mainly salaries and benefits for a teacher and a small amount of supply money. And that will be another grant will pick up the extra for Title I. FES, $97,836.22, a teacher and benefits, and a little bit of supplies there. So very little. And family coverage for health insurance, or if a teacher has a spouse that has the insurance or they have it, that can change $18,000 to $20,000. The actual expenses comes out of the federal program. So in one case, if a teacher has a single coverage or has life insurance only versus family coverage, it takes a much larger chunk out of the federal program budgets. Norfolk Elementary, $81,058.20. Again, that's salary and benefits, and that's some travel, staff development, and supplies. A little bit for the parent involvement coordinators get put into a county category, not charged to any one school. $12,000 for parent involvement, and then a little bit of Social Security and supplies and travel there. So total for Title I transfers, $259,682.23. That's number 300. $259,682.23. The next line item is Title II transfers from reserve into our technology coaches. There's a line item for them. There's some training, there's some staff development, and then there's $10,000 for tuition reimbursement. There is $6,000 circled. $6,000 of Title II is going to go to the cover the Title I. So in other words, we didn't have enough money in Title I to cover all 3 teachers and cover supplies and materials. And that's as salaries have gone up, as insurance costs have gone up, primarily more so than the salaries, as insurance costs have gone up, it's eaten up more of the federal grants all along. Federal grants have stayed mostly flat. That's what, even without any of the additional concerns about federal funding. So that's the Brandywine, and that's the $37,445 for Title II, $6,000 going to Title I. Title IV, another title program, we have $13,006.32 going to Brandywine. So over half of the grant is going to the Brandywine to make that whole and comparable to North Fork and Franklin. A little bit of supplies, a little bit of staff development. I think the Dolly Parton Imagination Library comes out of here, a couple other travels to Celebrating Connections. So total for the Title IV transfer is $21,132.24. So all 3 transfers, 300 to 302, total of $318,259.51, and all supplements, 101 to 104, total $220,284.27.
I recommend that the budget revisions be approved as presented.
Superintendent recommends that we approve the supplements 101, 102, 103, 104, and transfers 300, 301, 302. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed, likewise. Motion carried.
Okay, it's all under budget revisions. It is a busy time of year for those between the carryover from the last meeting and these, and then it'll be quiet down to a certain extent after that. So, financial update, I have a couple items. And speaking of federal programs, I wanted to do a little comparison. So under 7B, I have what's called a federal 25 allocation. So this mainly is saying, what did we get for FY25 for our federal programs? Well, we got $273,000 for Title I. I'm going to focus on the total. We received on the right-hand column $400,599.70 for federal programs. $400,599 helps us buy software like Renaissance, helps us buy some training programs and things like that. So $400,599.70. That's in the right-hand corner there for FY25. If I go back to FY26, a similar looking chart, it goes down to $328,210.27. So a reduction of about $700,000 or $70,000 for federal programs. So the Title V budget for over $40,000 went away. So some of the programs that were purchased out of Title V we're now purchasing out of Step 7/county funds. Some of the items, like part of Travis's salary, the director, we used to pay a portion of the Title I director's salary out of Title I. It's allowed by federal statute to happen. At one point in time, we were paying, since the Title I is a large program, almost 40% of the salary and benefits out of Title I. We're now paying 0% out of Title I. We're basically trying to cover the teachers and the supplies. We're needing to borrow from the other programs to fund the Title I program fully. So we're doing it. We're making the adjustments. That just pushes more costs into the Fund 11 General County budget. Fortunately, we have enough there that we can afford to do it, but that's an example of things that we didn't used to have to pay for out of the county/state funds we now are paying for. And so, again, a reduction of about $70,000. And so the Title V program is somewhat based on poverty levels and where you rank within the state. And while we have challenges in Pendleton County, compared to other counties in West Virginia, we certainly don't always rank as showing needy by comparison. So in FY25, we were eligible for Title V. FY26, we were not. That can fluctuate a little bit, and there's no guarantee. And so that none of that's really any direct impact on any concerns about federal funds and what's going to happen there. That could remain to be seen in the future if there's ever any discussion about that. That's just basic funding that we have. Now, Title II did decrease about 20%. That's about the only existing program instead of Title V that was reduced. So it's still a concern, obviously. We're able to manage it, but as we go along, combined with other things that come up, we have to pay attention to those, which is why we're always, even if we have a surplus and a reasonable amount for us, we have pressures that are out there that we need to be cognizant of. So those are the two allocations. The board object report is basically where we are right now in terms of the fiscal year budget to actual. And we still have some transfers and things to make, and this isn't year-end, and we haven't processed all of the repairs, all of the year-end substitutes, all of the repairs and maintenance and items. We finished last year, again, a $1.8 million surplus. Right now, we're showing $4.1 million to the good, and we're not going to finish there. But in the bottom right-hand corner, $4.1 million. That will decrease down. That will decrease down, I would think, to below $2 million by the time the year is over. But obviously, we will see for sure how that goes. So what are some of the things that help us on some of that? We get funded, even if going into 27 FY, the 1,400 floor, it may not be what it has been. We're funded this year for 1,400. We're funded for all those positions. And when you're filling with long-term subs, you have the issues of getting qualified persons, and we have some good persons filling in there, but those costs aren't all the same. And so we're getting funded for full-time staffing, which is a good thing about the 1,400 floor. Don't always have those expenses, but over time, if the 1,400 floor continues to erode a little bit, if it's a one-year blip, we're not sure. If we have other issues like the federal funds, like CIS, again, there's a concern. So we have two situations. We have a very solid financial picture, especially compared to our history. We have some concerns to be paying attention to. So that's all that I have underneath financial update.
That's just for information.
For information, correct. Yep.
What about Forest Service? Have you heard any more on that?
Well, secure rural schools are trying to get that, in between the House and the Senate ironed out up in DC. We occasionally get emails. It is apparently, more log jammed in the House right now. And, there is support from all the different counties or states across the country to get it done, but it's not been taken up yet in the House. And of course, the government shut down, so it's
Yeah.
obviously, so there's still discussions going on. There's still, emails being sent, and I think there's still a chance. Obviously, yes, we have not received secure rural schools, and that used to be over 100,000. It's now about 75,000 a year, but that would certainly be something we want to keep an eye on, and so it's kind of on hold. They were hoping to get it done by the end of August, and now here it is, October, so we will try to keep you updated on that, but still no resolution yet.
Thank you, JP. I guess we're down to facilities, correct?
Yes. Did you have me give those pictures?
I did put the pictures
Yeah.
on
Very
here.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I visited North Fork this afternoon, it was this morning, and wanted to show you that they are working on the floor. In the one picture, you can see where they had there's the corner where they had those places for the students to stand, and that was the
The
culprit of
risers,
the risers. So that took a pretty good chunk out of the room, and you can see it didn't have any of the flooring on there. They built the risers first. So the room has been painted, and the flooring is probably going to start going down tomorrow if it didn't start today. So that's pretty exciting. So I'm sure those teachers are anxious to get back into their spots. So you can see the nice fresh blue paint, which is nice. And you can see how much of a mess it is to look at all those piles. So that was quite a job. So that was pretty exciting. So moving forward, that job is almost done.
And like I said, I have checked with the committee over there to see about putting those rocks up there to protect those walls, so they're supposed to let us know.
Very good.
Okay. Is that all under facilities?
Yes.
No old business, new business, permission to purchase a new bus?
Yes, that would be me again. We have been having some maintenance issues with various buses. And Chuck and I met with JP last week to discuss the purchase of another bus. We have one that has been ordered, that was ordered last year, that is now in Beckley, I believe, and it's getting the cameras installed, so that should be coming shortly. The second bus that we ordered this year should be later in the year, is what they have told us, and we are asking for permission to purchase a third bus that will come later in the year, like hopefully in the summer toward the end of the year. It's just that the buses that we have are getting a lot of miles on them. The spares that we have a lot of miles on them as well. We have one a 77 passenger that we will let go out of the county, but another one that we do not want out of the county. So we are asking to purchase another 77 passenger bus.
So yes, the cost, it looks like about $160,996 for this bus. So the one bus ordered about a year ago was really for FY '25, even though we haven't received it yet. The other bus that Christie is talking about is for FY '26. They'll be coming in hopefully later this year. And then this bus here, while we're trying to get an early start on it, will be for FY '27. So even though it's not been all that long since we did an approval of a purchase, It's still one per fiscal year, which is about what we get money for, and there is a need, and on one hand, I'd like to see us hang on to the buses longer. I mean, I do think Chuck has been really struggling with some of the issues with the buses breaking down, with having to take them different places, having them towed, multiple incidents in one day, and so it's a balance. We do lease purchase the buses as much as we can, and so far we've continued to lease purchase those, and with the increase in the value, that gives us more money, so it really is like, again, as I've said, buying a car or truck with a 5-year loan with no interest to be paid on it, so that helps us out. Now, I've cautioned everybody, from Christie and Chuck and Nicole on down, you know, if the financial situation would take a turn for the worse down the road, you know, we may have to go a year without buying a bus. We're not there yet, and we have that flexibility, and we want to get them ordered ahead of time, so if we get this in, maybe by not the end of this school year, but by over the summer, maybe this can be ready for the fall of next year to have the bus up and going. I might be optimistic, but it seems like the year lag time is a little bit better than what it used to be to get them through the pipeline. And so that's what we'll be looking at. So none of these will we be writing a check for in this FY26 year, but they will be going into a lease purchase. And we can't lease purchase indefinitely down the road, and we're keeping an eye on that, but these, I believe that we can to continue to do that. So that's where we are. I originally was kind of concerned about you know, how many buses we got to the pipeline, but knowing that this is an early order for next fiscal year, I think it kind of falls into place and get it turned around, and hopefully continue to keep up our bus fleet and keep the problems to a minimum as much as we can.
And there's what, a 2-year turnaround on reimbursement on?
Well, on bus replacement, on bus repairs, there's a 2-year turnaround. On bus replacement money, we get X amount of money per year for bus replacement. Then it's a decision whether to spend the money on buses or not. That's flexibility. This past year, we received $170,000 for bus replacement in the budget. If it was a really bad year, we might buy no buses and use that $170,000 to balance the budget. You know, but obviously we can, factoring in the need of the buses with the overall budget picture, we can go ahead and order this and have that show up for next year, FY27. But we will, every time a need comes up, we'll have to evaluate how do we look financially overall for all that.
How big were the buses the other 2 buses we ordered? Are they 77?
One was a 77, and I don't think the other one, the first one was not, I don't think.
I think it was a 53 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 50
And I don't
something.
remember where that's going to go. I mean, Chuck has the list and a
Yeah.
rotation order for where it's going to go. But the first 2 were a 53 and the 77 passenger bus on that. And so while we do have some 77s, even the show bus, as some people say, or the snub nose bus, was ordered way back in like 2015. Hard to believe it, you know, it's 10 years old already. So this will be another 77 passenger to hopefully get us up to speed on those items and what we have.
Has the price increased since the
It has.
last?
I don't know if the price has increased, but you know, I remember years ago, it was maybe 6 years ago, it was about 130,000. Now it's about 160,000. And even whether it's a 53 passenger or a 77, the price isn't a whole lot different. I mean, it's a little bit different, but it isn't huge. Of course, I think we have to factor in the size of the bus and what routes they'll fit on. You know, some of them have to stay on more of the main roads as opposed to the secondary roads. So that's always a concern as it comes down to that. So hopefully, once we get these in and completed and up to date, we can relook again at how many buses we have. But we do travel a lot of miles, you know, in this county, and that's the bottom line. You know, we travel a lot of miles in our buses.
And Chuck and his staff help you spec out engines, transmissions?
Yes,
What?
he talks
seen it
to
was a
Herb,
Cummins.
and then Herb sends me and Chuck the quote for the buses. And this is the same price as the last 77 passenger bus that we purchased this year.
And these are state contracts from the state of West Virginia. They give you 4 or 5 options pre-approved by the state purchasing process, and then you're able to work with them. Chuck has been very pleased with worldwide equipment and Heritage, and maybe used to be called Heritage Bus Sales. So we purchased several of these, and the same time, we've talked to other people across the state. Nobody is super pleased with how often the buses break down, with some of the computers and emissions controls and things like that. But nobody seems to have a fix for it that we know of. But this is the process of where we are.
See, Elkins just put a couple electric
They
buses
did,
in
I saw it in
service.
Mountain.
Yeah.
And I read the article, they're mostly in the Elkins area. If we had a population area that could stay within the city limits, town limits, well then yes, it would be much easier to do that. So I wonder too whether we're gonna run them mostly in the Elkins area, which,
And really, the LPG went away, didn't it? I don't hear a thing about that anymore.
there's still a little bit, but with the diesel and the grants that are out there, yeah, other options are pretty much compressed natural gas or anything else is
Yeah.
pretty much going away. Biodiesel went away a number of years ago. That might still be an option, but I don't think anybody's building the buses that do that compressed natural gas, not within a reasonable cost. So, yeah, we're back to the diesel buses or the electric. And there's still some grants that are out there, but you really have to be convinced that you can use the buses, and not just getting it to have it, so, yeah.
Okay, I recommend that the purchase of the new bus be approved.
Superintendent recommends that we buy a new bus at $160,996. Was that right, Christie? $160,996. I'm sorry, I had it
That was
here.
it.
Yes, 160,996 on the screen, yes.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carried. November 4th, LSIC and board meeting time change.
We're requesting that the start of that LSIC and board meeting start at 6 p.m. because we will be attending the building authority, school building authority interview on that day in Charleston. I believe Travis and JP and JD and I will be traveling to Charleston together, and just want to make sure we have enough time to get to the dinner and the meeting on time.
So dinner's at 6.
Yes.
right?
So
Okay.
dinner's at
So it'll
6.
be a little bit later evening.
Okay.
Hopefully the weather will be good. So it'll be okay.
Here we go. All right, that's just for information. We don't need to make them, we don't need to.
I think you might have to.
All right, I need a motion to change the November 4th LSIC and board meeting time to starting at 6 o'clock.
So moved.
Got a motion second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed likewise. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Policy revisions, is there any tonight?
So under policy revisions, there's several in the works. Nothing that I have for the board meeting tonight, but there are several in the works that Nicole has mentioned that we need to review internally. Travis has even mentioned one on dual credits that needs to be updated just a little bit to bring it in compliance. And then there's another update from Neola, which has 33 policy updates and some technical corrections, and we'll have to go through the central office process again of handing it out to the different persons. So I think we can make progress on that. Nicole and I will be crossing paths literally and figuratively over the next week or two, but remotely I think we can discuss. I can hand some things out to persons, get that in process. So between the Neola updates, which are continuing over from the legislative session, state board policy, and a couple local policies, we will have hopefully something to present at the November board meeting on board policies. But there's several, again, we've discussed. And again, the Neola has been a great package, and it brings us very current, and it is a pretty good process. And we knew when we brought it over from the old policy manual, there are still some that, sometimes we'll say about a policy, well, we know what was in the old policy, you're not sure if it's in the new one, and then we go, it's like, well, this is the Neola version, we want to add this. So we continue to find some of those as we knew when we went to it, and so we have a couple of those we want to revise a little bit to bring our current version back with what we want it to be. But overall, it's been very good. It's been a very huge activity, and if Charles had not agreed to undertake a lot of the conversion piece, I don't know if we ever would have gotten there. And so there's still some stuff to do, but again, it's almost 1,000-page policy manual if you print it all out. So it's just a lot, and so we're in good shape. But Neola updates and a couple local updates we will look at and then get back to you on that.
We're down to second month attendance report. Carrie.
All right. We have somehow made it almost to November and completed 2 months of school already. So up on the screen, you can see that overall we had a pretty good second month attendance. Our 5th grade over at North Fork had the highest individual grade percentage at 98.125, which is phenomenal. North Fork overall was at the highest percentage for each of the 4 schools, so they were at 95.574. And then the first grade had the highest class percentage at 96.297. The county ended up at 94.3 for the second month, which is really pretty good. I wanted to point out, this isn't on here because it's not the second month, but we have had an attendance rate of over 95% for the last 3 days, so today, yesterday, and Friday. So it'd be super if we could keep that trend going and stay above 95. Yesterday, actually, we were over 96% as a county. The high school is doing a remarkable job with their attendance. There's been a few days where they've had the highest attendance in the county, and everyone's just doing an excellent job with it. We hit day 40 a couple of weeks ago, and I sent out the list of chronic absent students to each of the principals for them to take a look at. As a county, we were right around 14% chronic absence on day 40, so we are in good shape. We generally start out in a pretty good place, and then winter comes and sickness hits, and so I anticipate it going up a bit, but hopefully we'll be able to keep it relatively low. I do, just the high school and North Fork Elementary want to point them out specifically. They've both done a phenomenal job with their attendance this year and reducing their chronic absence rates. So good little shout out to them.
We heard some great numbers at Brandywine the other night.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Everyone's doing a great job. And when our kids are in school, we're able to learn. So that's the first step. We can't teach if they're not here.
And you said on the 40th day, is that what it was? Everybody's chronic absences had gone down. And that's pretty amazing to me, because it's your chronic absences, it's that habit that students are starting to get into, and to break those habits are just life-changing. So just, it's great to see it on the paper, but more importantly, the habits that they're going to be forming by, going ahead and pushing themselves a little bit, if that may be the situation, if they don't feel the best or whatever may be, just making that decision, I'm going to get to school today. So that's awesome.
We need to approve that or anything?
No.
Okay. All right, item B is school improvement student achievement update.
I don't believe we,
Don't have any.
I don't think.
Can I talk about our meetings?
Yeah, certainly, yes. So, do you want to talk? About what, who wants to talk?
I'll start and you can.
Okay.
Okay.
We can all talk, because we were all involved.
Yeah, we were all part of it. So Mrs. Hevener, as part of her plans for school improvement, school growth, has designed a work session program, essentially, where we are all assigned to schools, and we are meeting throughout the year to meet with those schools and review assessment data and just work on identifying areas that we need improvement in, and monitoring the data, looking for areas of growth, but really kind of like targeting our schools and specifically so that we can have a more narrow and specific focus. So I'm working with North Fork Elementary, Christy's working with the middle school, Mrs. Hevener, Mr. Hevener are working with Franklin Elementary, and then Mrs. White Cotton is working with Brandywine.
So we were able to spend the day really digging into data from each of the schools and talking about the good things that are already happening and where we need to move forward.
Yeah, and it was just a really great opportunity. There was a lot of insights that were shared, a lot of great practices that are being done every single day in the schools, and it was a great opportunity for us at the central office to provide administrative support for the administrators, who are usually the ones who have to do all the work and lead the pack. So I feel like hopefully that we can help them so that they can help their teachers. So it is very exciting. It'll be interesting to see when the second benchmark is completed and we can compare data. I know most of the schools have students that are writing their own goals and keeping their own data themselves as we do the benchmarks. So that's pretty exciting. And of course it's case 6 at the elementary, and of course the teachers. The kindergarten level is going to be transitioned into, some schools are doing it the whole year, some wait until the second part of the school year, but it's just really great to start getting students to be thinking about their own growth and what they can do to improve that. So it really was it was a long day, it was a challenging day, but it was very productive. So.
Thank you. Superintendent's update.
Okay, so Pendleton County approval status and accreditation. So we got a letter. This is an interesting letter because we are good. We are very good. With the exception, again, on post-secondary achievement. And again, Derek and I will try to figure out the mystery of that one and try to figure out, we'll work to see what we can do to make sure that we're not on there anymore. But we have, not this year, but last year we did try to make some contact to figure out how we can fix that. So when I go to the superintendent's conference, I'm going to start asking questions. We're going to be going to the Human Resource Conference. I'm going to start asking people, what are you doing in your counties to make sure that we are in the right place? The second document shows every county and where they're at as far as on watch or not, and so you can just go to Pendleton. It says the same thing, but it is interesting to see some of the other counties. So I am very thankful for where we are. So
We tried to find a map. We couldn't find a map.
it's not available yet, I don't think.
Just have a listing. It's interesting, you're talking about transportation that we had just recently.
A lot of counties are coming up short in some of their bus inspections / criteria, and I don't know exactly, but you see there Randolph has a couple, Putnam Transportation, Preston Transportation, and so there's some different ones. And even, Grant and Hardy, not picking on our neighbors, maybe just a little bit, but transportation and transportation. Of course, now Hardy is unique that they don't really have a bus garage, so they contract everything out. And so nonetheless, Jackson Transportation, so there's been a big, Jefferson Transportation, Kanawha Transportation, so there's been a big emphasis, and I don't quite know what it is, what all those factors are. Maybe sometime, Christie or somebody can find something out across the state in one of the meetings, but quite a few are on falling short in our transportation department, and we've always had a very good transportation department, and we're certainly, continuing that tradition, even as we try to balance out new buses and old buses and those sorts of things.
Well, Chuck is very committed to the maintenance of the buses, and even when there is a fine with our reviews, he usually can fix them very quickly. So.
Well, we had bus inspection a couple of weeks ago, and there was 2 things on 2 different buses, and it was fixed before Darren even left the county. He was the inspector, and it was fixed before he had even left. So out of 8 buses, there was 2 minor things, and Chuck and John worked together to fix those before the end of the day.
He did a great job.
So it was pretty good. And he's coming back, I don't remember the date, but he's coming back in a couple weeks to do some more, and he's going to inspect 6 buses, I think, during that time, and then he's coming to do the files as well. So he'll be back in the county again. But it was really good. I went out and watched it. It was good.
Very interesting. You slide under the buses. And
Yes,
look at
he was
everything.
all
Yeah,
over that
yeah.
bus. I mean, it was good.
And also with one of the updates that I wanted to share, I did ask Dr. Lambert to come, and he has some information about the high school because things are changing all the time, and we just have new things, so.
While he's giving that, congratulations, you and your staff, for your good accreditation.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And that's, your staff includes everybody that picks them up, feeds them, cleans them,
Yes, indeed.
and teaches them.
Exactly, I agree.
So over the past few years at the middle high school, there have been programs, sports programs added. So we are, obviously, as everyone knows, pushing the limits of our space that we have at the high school. We're using every bit of space that we can, and every bit of funding that we have to be able to provide a really high quality, safe environment for our student athletes. That being said, there are things looking into the future that are going to have to be upgraded, and all of these things are big ticket items that will need addressed. So Mrs. Propst and I have been working on a vision to move the high school forward, on really working at getting these big ticket items for our students taken care of. So in that vein, you have three separate sheets that I handed to you. The first one is a letter that we have crafted in order for us to send to businesses, both within the county and the surrounding counties, because most Pendleton County residents spend a lot of money outside of the county as well. So our idea with this letter is to send it out with the list of the most urgent needs that we see coming in the future, in hopes that they will recognize the amount of money that the Pendleton County residents spend at their business, and provide us with a donation that would help us meet our goal for the things that we have listed. An example of that would be upgraded football and baseball field lights. We've had a quote, and even with a very generous discount, it is over $280,000 just to replace those lights. So when I say big ticket, I'm not kidding. But I will say we are, as a school, our athletic programs are very successful and very grateful for what we have and what we continue to use our resources for. I think Mrs. Propst has done a really great job over the past few years building the sports programs and making them into the success that they are now. The second sheet is what is an updated version of what she started with Mrs. Hebner as the principal last year, having sponsorship packages for businesses to purchase this package, and we have several outlined there that businesses can choose from. We did add the premium package, which will be new as we continue this fundraiser. We met with a company that has a robot that will paint athletic fields. A lot of our neighboring schools have this already. Any school that you go to that have the hash marks painted on the football field and the numbers painted on the football field, they have this machine. So in order to help offset the cost of the machine, we added this, and we are going to offer spots on the football, baseball, and softball fields for businesses to purchase, and we will actually paint their logos on sections of the field for more advertising and as a thank you for helping support Pendleton County Middle High School athletics. And then that third page is just a little bit of extra information about the sponsorship program and all the things that we offer to our students at Pendleton County Middle High School. So, but we do appreciate all of the support that we get from the businesses, from the community, and from the Board of Education to help support what we do.
Derek, last year we had some discussion from a group of people looking to build it like a new field house out there, and we got some really high prices. But I don't know where that that group of people, or have you been in contact? Have they talked to you anything about it?
I have the estimate. JP and Nicole and I, with Ms. Propsall, actually talked about that the other day. I have those specs. I think that Ms. Props and I have talked about maybe a more affordable alternative with Mr. Heavener, which is on the list on that paper, of a building that would do almost the same. So.
I know when we talked about it one time, I think Eric Kreitz had some kind of promise from Pilgrims. Now, I don't know where that went, or, that's something you might look into. Okay.
That group never came back to us either, right?
Huh?
Krista?
No,
Krista Owens and them were gonna
well, I think
try to come up with
when
something different.
the price kind of blew everybody away and
Yeah, they've never
kind of
come
just
back
slowed
though.
down, but, but like building just a storage thing and something smaller, could be maybe worked out.
Yeah, and we have quotes. Jackie put together a binder for us to use at our next LSIC meeting of the projects that we have already gotten quotes for, and kind of the vision that Jackie and I together see for Pendleton County middle high school athletics. So that's our next step, is to have that at the LSIC and move
The
forward.
business and everything, all the banks and everything have been real good to help us out.
They
They really
have.
seem to be eager to continue helping, so.
They have. They're by the end of this school year, I believe that we will have gotten 3 new scoreboards from the banks within a year. So
They're very generous.
yes, those aren't cheap.
We want the football field.
That's all.
Yes,
Report?
just wanted you to be aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Conference meeting update.
So Christy and I will be heading to the superintendent's, the WVASA conference this Thursday and Friday in Fairmont, and then next Thursday, October 30th, is the EPIC meeting. And this morning I was at the South Branch meeting.
And we have human resources. We have
Yes,
the Human Resources Conference next week as
yes,
well.
and everyone's in conferences, and then
Yeah.
finance.
Yeah, the finance folks are meeting in Canaan next week, which I am helped put together, but Nicole is going to welcome us to Canaan
Yes.
as the Pendleton County Superintendent. She's going to welcome all the folks to Canaan next Wednesday morning.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we look forward to you guys on the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
On the 15th, yes.
Okay, is that all, Nicole?
That is it.
All right, the next meeting, the Board of Education will be held Tuesday, November the 4th, 6 o'clock at North Fork Elementary, so it's bumped up a little bit, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. Meeting, we are adjourned.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
And I did
Yes.
on board docs the agenda for the